All right, welcome in everybody. This morning we have VII Sins here for the guild interview, and we're gonna hit them up there in a second. I just want to do a quick intro on the channel and explain what we're trying to do here. We're making a library of guilds, so when new people come into the game, they can actually look through the guild interviews and try to find a specific guild that leans towards how they play, the play style. Are they PvP, more PvE, crafting, alchemy, cooking, all that kind of thing. So we do these interviews and then we upload them to YouTube. So when people come in, they can just kind of leaf through them and pick the guild that best suits their playstyle. So just a quick shout out to Monique. She's the moderator of the channel. Keeps me in tune and everything running, does all the chats, all the video uploads, and basically sorts me out every day. Now we're going to talk about the format for the questions, which we'll keep at the end. So any questions that you have will be directed towards the guild. Don't direct them towards me because we're here for their guild. All right. So just a quick shout out for Nick. Does a lot of work for me. Now I'm going to introduce Quick. He's one of the council members. He's going to talk about himself just briefly, and then he's going to introduce some of the other council members. And they'll just kind of discuss what they do in the guild for recruiting maybe or crafting. So I'll just let Quick go ahead and give his blurb there. Thank you.
Thanks, Bratwire. Good morning, guys. So I've played the MO2 beta since November, and I pretty much kind of got the ball rolling for moving VII Sins into MO2. In some regards to how we do things, I would say that we are like a cadre. So the individuals that you're going to see here are people who, they're very valued in leadership and in, everything we do, from crafting to guild assets to PvP. So Naori, he's pretty much my level. We kind of run on the same wavelength. And we have Wolf Achilles. He's pretty much on my level as well. And then we have Seven, who just started, but he's already risen the ranks very fast, and he really embodies what we really want here at Sins. So we also have Free Horses, who's new, and Osdos, who kind of just sit in the background, but they won't be talking much.
All right. So Nary, if you want to go ahead and just give a quick blurb about yourself, and then Wolf, you can go right after him, please.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been playing MO2 beta probably right after they actually added crafting. So it's been a while. Then before that, I was playing MO1 pretty much until the game died. Until there was 10 players. So I don't really have a specific role. I mean, most people don't. But I think we all just like to try to keep us afloat. Like, if someone needs armor crafting and there's an armor crafter on, they'll craft armor for everyone. Or someone needs weapons and I'm a weapon crafter, I'll craft the weapons. Like, everyone tries to fill all the roles, which makes it less of a burden for one person, and that's kind of pretty much what we try to be, like more of a family than just people that just are guild mates on the internet.
Yeah, and give the orders.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Wolf, you want to just give a little brief synopsis on yourself and what you're doing and where you stand in the guild type of thing?
Sure. I started playing MO1 a bit after most of our other vets. I've been playing MO2 since, I want to say, end of January. I'm a full fighter, and I do some weapon crafting and the materials, so I don't really have anything to say about it.
All right. Seven, go ahead and just add in there to like how you found the guild, who you spoke to, how you got into the guild, that kind of thing. Just, a little brief layout for me.
All right, so I am new to the game. I was not a MO1 player. I started doing the stress test and played a few days alone, and was very very careful about what guild I want to join, because it's probably where I'm going to be in for the long run. I scouted most of the guilds, had talks with some guilds, and the only guild which I really found interesting was VII. Incidentally, it has a connection to my name, but that was not the main reason I joined. And I love the game. I have almost 1,000 hours now since the stress test.
Holy shit, dude!
Yeah, I'm a degenerate no-life gamer, so I think I'm the only full 7 member that is not a Model 1 vet. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you didn't play MO1 at all, but did you see any videos of MO1? Like, how did you end up finding the game, or just because it was being pushed out on the YouTube so much? And
yeah, there's a certain YouTube content creator that I follow, and I was in his Twitch chat on the day of the stress test, and they were just sending out free stress test keys, and that's the first time I heard of the game. I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. I am, like I said, quite a degenerate gamer. I have 2 decades of gaming MMOs behind me, tens of thousands of hours in hardcore games, large-scale battles, and it sounded like this was the next big thing for me.
You can give the content creator the shout-out, too, if you want. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that's Kira TV.
There you go. Okay, so I'll give Free Horses a chance to say. It looks like, are you Free Horse? I knew you before. I spoke to you a few times. You were in the chat here and stuff. And so, what made you turn and join VII Sins?
I basically know everybody here, and they let me do what I want, which is a big plus. Let me tell you.
Awesome. So when did you end up joining them then?
Right. I probably shouldn't say that. About, what was it? Right after I was looking at AC.
So that was like a couple months ago then.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, that's right down 2 months ago. Perfect.
I've known all these guys for like 8 years.
Oh, geez, dude, that's good. That's huge. So did you play MO1? I don't have that wrote down yet.
I think so. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes,
so like the 2012, hey? I'm gonna write 2012 down there because that's like when most people played and then they didn't play, right? Like went in and tested it out, got killed in the spawn area, and then they quit the game.
Yeah, I only played MO1 ironically anyway.
Yeah.
You
played more than
any of us. Don't let him lie.
A lot of hours in MO1 for sure. Oz, maybe just tell us briefly how you found the guild and when you joined and your experience in MO1 quickly too, if you want.
Yeah, for sure. I actually didn't play too much MO1. I caught like the very end of it. Quick was actually the one who introduced me to the game, and we were playing with the guild that they had back then. It was real small, not too many activities going on, but pretty much instantly fell in love with the game. It was really good. The combat system was complicated for me at first. I didn't really play too many games like this, but the guild was really inviting, and yeah, they were just really open. I like the content that they put out, like the combat, all the stuff that we do together. It's great. It's quality time.
So do you think they create enough content themselves?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of stuff. I mean, there's always somebody trying to do something. There's always people wanting to get, either if it's to roam or to get at least some team fights. We try to stay active, try to make sure we kind of just maintain our skills, just make sure we're ready for whatever's out there.
Let's touch on the roam for a bit. So do you guys have a specific night that you're gonna do your roams?
You know what? I'm not even too sure for that. We do have nights where, we try to say in the morning, like, hey, let's do some roams tonight. We do try to have dedicated team fight days, though. Those are like Sundays, so we try to get team fights going on Sundays just to make sure we have proper training at least once a week.
Yeah, so quick. Do you guys, is the council organizing this, or is it just like one person just says, okay, Sundays we're going to do this. We need max participation in our team fights on Sundays.
Actually, it's quite the. That's not the case in this one. A lot of times, it's our guys that are, not in the immediate cadre that are trying to do these things. So we don't normally have like a PvP officer, if you will. Like that's not really the approach. We have a PvP guild, and anybody can initiate some sort of team fight within the group, right? If you have, 10 people on, you can go ahead and start a 5v5 within the group and just work on cohesion and communication. And so, I mean, a lot of these guys are very self-motivated in that aspect. I'll be at work and I'll see these guys on getting team fights in, fighting other groups, fighting Lavia, Corleone Order, El Cartel, and these guys are just constantly, working and trying to get better. So,
well, the PvP in this game, you got to put massive amounts of hours in to get really good at it, right? Then you guys, okay, yeah, I want to touch back on the roams. So when you guys are doing the roams, like, are you asking, your guys, okay, we're gonna go Friday night at 7:00. Can we get max participation and a number count like before that day that they think, or do you guys just say, what's best for everybody if we go on a roam? Like, what day would be the best?
It's like, hey, I'm bored. I want to go on a roam. Who's with me? And you have 6 guys in columns, and 4 of them are like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Yeah, we do try to maximize though. Like if more people are going to be on at 1 p.m., of course we'll do it at 1. Like it depends. A lot of people are really busy in the guild, so we try to work around everyone.
Yeah, that's like if you have a bunch of people on, though, like you said, and there was 6 people in there, and they're just like, yeah, let's go for a tour. And then you would head over to whatever city. I guess Fab would be the best spot right now, still, right?
So, Bratwire.
Yes.
Our guild is not a roaming guild. We don't typically roam. So, I call it like the 7 World Tour. So what we'll do is we'll just we will res in a city.
Yes.
Gear up and then go poke the bear.
Yeah.
Whatever guild is in that area, we'll just mess with them until they come out and fight us.
So, is there specific guilds that you guys are kind of leaning towards more to poke at to get going, get these fights started? I guess whatever would be.
Yeah.
Kodo. Yeah.
It's always fun to mess with Kodo because they have such a large number of people.
Yeah, it's probably easier to get the fights out of them than most people because they do have the numbers.
Exactly.
And they're always game, they're always game to fight. So
exactly.
Yeah. So you do come to Meduli then? You guys are like resin numbers here in Madudu.
That is correct.
There with the jadeite sword and a bone tissue set, and we're ready to bang.
The classic, eh? I love it. So we're touched on location then. So you guys don't really have a set location that you are calling home, or do you have like a spot that 90% of you guys are going to be most of the time, and then you're going to go to cities and pick the fights? Anybody can take that.
I mean, I would say most of the time we're actually in Fabrinum if we're not doing anything. Just because that's where most of our stuff is. But other than that, no, we don't really have a hometown. I mean, I think we're kind of holding off on a hometown until release because we don't know how the whole thing will play out.
Yes.
So
we were a Bhakti yield in MO1.
Yes.
But Bhakti's kind of poo-poo, so no interest in doing that at the moment. TC, of course, might change that.
Yeah, we're still having an eye on GK. We've been in GK for a bit here and there, trying to get some roams. And when we do them, we try and mix things up over there. But Fabnum and like Tindrem is where you can mass produce steel quite easily, and it's just really convenient to get stuff that you need for warfare.
Yeah, those are ideal spots for that for sure. So if you guys are gonna call home, I know it's early, and you're thinking about doing housing, is Fab gonna be the spot for you? Because you know how Fab is all the time with Carnash right there. Like, do you think you'd put housing around there, or do you think you want to pick a different kind of spot on the map?
It's really hard to say right now. It would depend on the landscape of the game, right? You want to be somewhere where it's quite central and it's near the action, so we don't have to ghost around every time. But yeah, probably not Fab, to be honest.
Yeah.
I do not intend to live near Fab.
What's ideal for you guys then? I know, like most people, Moki and Bodki area is probably the most central spot on the map, right? From jungle, dungeons, east and west, it's very easy to get to, right? Now, I know a lot of people, like, you can do tons of housing there too, like south, southwest, southeast of those areas. There's so much area there now. Would you guys consider that your central spot, maybe?
I mean, I think with Bhakti and stuff, the problem is the map's so large now. In MO1, it was 6 times smaller. At least that's their numbers. So
Yes.
just walking places and even riding horses is kind of a pain. So that's why we mostly take the approach of having materials in every city and ghosting places, because it's much faster.
Yeah.
So Bhakti is kind of so far out of the way where we probably won't get many fights there, depending on the landscape.
It's worth noting that the jungle is kind of void of content at the moment, so it's hard to tell how big the spread of things will be once all of these scales are in the game.
It's really a hard question right now.
Yeah, like Panzer scale used to be something really noteworthy, and we could use it as a resource base, but it's not in the game at the moment.
No. See, in MO1, we used Bodki all the time. That's where the auction house was for a lot of us players. Like, when our farming goods, that's where we put 90% of them.
From what I understand, GK is going to become the center of the map eventually with the expansion and things, right? So we can, I could imagine us being like in Toxai or MK. Yeah,
also a good side of the map. Maduli also was one of a big trading point too, right? When Sarduka was open, because of the travel point, right? So people would bank their stuff, come back and forth through there. That was also a very big area for keeps and things like that. So let's just touch on the housing, because I'm sure everybody wants to know if you guys are going to be doing housing. If you had your spot picked out, everything went ideally perfect for you, are you thinking about keeps, or are you just thinking about housing, like making, a little town basically?
I'm making 7 village.
The village, 7 village, got it.
Yeah. So I mean, the approach for me is I would like to have something central. Mm-hmm. So anywhere in the central steppes to old demon spawn area would be really nice to have. We're going to be really centralized, and there'll be a PvP hub there, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of the approach. That's where I'm thinking, and it's about kind of getting that point across to the rest of the members, seeing if they would, want to do something like that. But Toxai, Morinkur is a really good area too, capital city.
Now, are you guys leaning towards trying to get a keep? Like, the keeps are obviously based on guild size and income, right? Because they're quite expensive to finance. So.
Yeah, I mean, most of us have been in the point where we've had a keep. Some of us were in rec in MO1. So we had the rec keep for a while, and then I used to be in NWO, so we had the NWO keep. And some of our players do, but it is also a big responsibility that is kind of hard to maintain.
To be
Yeah.
fair, most of our players are very PvP centric, and we have some PvEers quite a lot, and they could make a lot of money. We could definitely maintain it, but
Yeah.
do we want to maintain it is the question, right?
Yeah,
So
our interest level in territory, like
maybe leaning towards living out of a keep with a guild that we are like close to, and if the
an
opportunity
alliance.
presents itself, yeah, meh, like we don't like the term alliance for sure, but
Yeah.
there could be like a mutual agreement to like help each other out when there is battle, and we just live out of it for as a
Yeah.
payment, I guess.
Almost like
But-
a nomad.
Yeah. However, if the opportunity presents itself that we have the funds and we have the members, I mean, why not go for it, right? But it's not our primary objective.
Yeah. Because most of the, like, maintaining, you would have to, obviously you have to be able to delegate, because you have to have a whole PvE section of guys that want to contribute hardcore to keep the keep, right? Because you have to have the hard currency coming in for sure to maintain these big keeps and the taxes and buildings. Because as soon as you put up a keep, you need to bank, you need stables, you need all that kind of thing immediately, right? And then that in turn will help you guys with your recruitment, because the guys can come right to the keep. You'll have your librarians. They don't have to leave. Everything's boom right there for them. That's
Right.
I kind of think that's the general idea of having a keep if you really want to blow your ranks up. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, if that's what you guys are thinking as well.
We want to stay a smaller guild. Like, we don't want to be an empire building guild. We wouldn't mind if we have a strong force, right? But it's not the objective to be the next Zerg guild. Definitely don't want
playing
that.
in a nut cup in a Zerg is not quite as much fun.
Yeah, that's why alliances are not our thing. We just want to be
Yeah.
for ourselves.
No,
Politics.
that's cool.
Stay away from the politics and just have the good pure PvP.
Yeah, having no alliance and just that way you have no commitment. If another guild calls you and say, hey, we're gonna be banging tonight at wherever, do you guys want to come?
Yeah, also
And
no
then-
expectations. When wires get
Yeah.
crossed, it's clean.
Well, exactly, and when one guild is in trouble or something, they're calling you, be like, well, yeah, we're not going to go and fight that guild because that's just going to cause a war with us.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good idea, and it does work. Like, if you can keep your nose out of it as long as possible until the world wars start and you get drawn in, then sometimes the line is drawn in the sand, right? You got no choice. You got to get involved.
No, we definitely want to get involved in some way,
yeah.
right? Because we are all about the PvP, and the more PvP, the bigger, the better. But just like no expectations and no obligations is quite important. We also have this mercenary angle, so we definitely hope that there can be some engagement in some form when there's a big war.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go right into mercenary right now. That's next on the list. So, as you just mentioned, the mercenaries, we always like to ask if you guys do contracts for mercenary work, like either the PvP or materials, anything like that. Are you guys planning on taking contracts or offering them up?
I think Wolf has a contract.
Mhm.
There we go.
But I think mainly that was just one of our ideas for how the guild should be shaped. I think a lot of people would like to be a mercenary guild. It is really difficult to pull off. I mean, a lot of guilds in MO1 tried, and really none of them worked, unfortunately. But it is a really neat idea that would be interesting, and it would work if there's a lot more players.
Yeah.
Unlike MO1.
So are you talking about just like hiring out for PvP, you mean?
Mostly, yeah. I mean, if we get a base of solid PvEers, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed of doing like farming contracts either. That'd be fun. It'd be interesting too.
But if your keep's getting sieged and you want some more people that are pretty good at fighting to help you not get blown up, then we're your option.
Yeah, and that's the kind of contract most people are wondering if you guys would take, like a defensive contract or somebody's
siege defenses. We will
definitely
sell. One thing that we won't sell is sieging. Like, we don't do sieging.
No sieging and just defense.
Yeah, there's just there's not enough money to ever.
Ever
You
be
know,
worth that?
there's not enough money to ever be worth, creating another enemy for yourself.
Yeah. Not only that is, if sieging's anything like MO1, there's not enough money to make me do that.
No.
It is
What do
very
you mean?
boring.
What do you mean? 30 hours of sieging is not fun for you guys?
Exactly. Yeah.
Let me just wake up at 4 a.m. and run donkeys and movas.
Oh yeah, dude, I carried more boulders than you can imagine.
Oh yeah, I had a whole character for that.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, Grandmaster Tamers. 3 moles go.
Mm-hmm.
So your new guys, what do you think? Free horse, not new guys, anyways, but free horses and Oz. What do you think of the guild kind of doing mercenary work?
I definitely feel like it's if they want to do some mercenary work, then that's just more content for us. It's gonna add on a lot more activities that we can do. Definitely bring some more PvP experience as well. If some for the newer guys too, or even for the more experienced guys. It's never it's never too much.
Mm-hmm. What kind of mercenary work do you think you'd be interested in maybe seeing in the guild if they haven't already spoke about it actually?
I was gonna give a chance to free horses to see if we wanted to say anything.
Oh, he's gonna get questions next. He's fine.
Okay. But I was thinking, just anything, honestly. Like they said, I didn't really get to experience sieges, so I don't understand how bad they are. But I mean, if they say it's a fucking no go, then it's definitely a no go for sure.
Oh, they're long and brutal. Free horses, kind of the same question. Like, did you played MO1? I think you told me, and then so you did probably somewhat of sieges and defensive sieges. Are you more into the defense side of it than the actual sieging?
Yes.
That's it, Elaborate on one of those.
So, don't like boulders. They're way too much. Weigh me down. Can't move. Only had tamed horses, so they only had like 200 strength, so I can carry one at a time. They would call me useless. But, I did 2 fat mages in the first game, so standing still and defending someplace was much better than getting shot by arrows and having to move both of them around.
That's so true, So true. Okay, so we wanted to touch on the recruiting for you guys right now. Basically, I want to know who is it a collective that's doing the recruiting, and what exactly are you looking for? Like you're taking old, new. Are you looking for more mages? Are you looking for more archers? Like one of you guys just go ahead and take that.
Yeah,
if you're a mage and you're out there, send me a message. I want to talk to you.
PSA: if you're an archer, have a damn melee weapon.
So the recruiting thing has been passed around to various members of the guild, whoever feels up for it at the moment. Currently, I handle the front of that towards the outside. We generally take anyone who is interested in PvP and wants to improve themselves. Time will tell if they share the same ideals that we do. But we don't really mind if you're a veteran or a new player. We think there are great advantages to being either of the two, for obvious reasons, I believe. And yeah, anyone is free to come and try out.
Yeah. I mean, another thing is we do recruit. There are times, though, where we hold off on recruiting to either nurture the recruits we already have, or to, just take a pause if we don't feel ready. So if we're recruiting, that's the time.
Yeah, the family aspect is really important to us, so we don't want to dilute the relationships too fast.
Yeah, you just don't want to water down the pool. You want to try to keep the best of the best and weed out the rest, really, right?
Not even the best of the best, just people that fit in, because we are not very elitist in that sense. We just try really hard, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're not going to kick you because you're performing underperforming or being bad. But if you feel like the pressure is too much or the expectation is too much, which we try not present, but if you feel like it doesn't fit, then I mean, that's it, I guess. You're free to do whatever you want.
Bad, I would not have lasted.
I was just gonna say, what would get you kicked out or turned down from the guild then if you're coming in? Like I'm assuming just being a toxic person. That's just one.
I can answer that one.
Sure, quick.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Number one thing that'll get you kicked out is causing problems inside the guild.
Yeah, that's the toxic shit, eh?
Being toxic and going against the group and against, like, you know, the teamwork aspect of it, that you're just going to get kicked out. I don't need divas in here, man.
Yeah. People don't have time. They got jobs and they come home and they want to do the right thing in the guild and just get going, right? And you don't want to deal with the drama.
That's right. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I tend to not have vets come through. Unfortunately, and I hate to say it, I do not like stroking egos of vets.
Yeah, because they play the game. Yeah, exactly. Like everybody can still learn.
So if we lose a fight, I don't want to have to full-on damage control because some vet is upset that we lost a fight.
Yeah. So in comms, like you guys obviously have a combat comms, and when you start going, and then you tell to clear the comms, and so who looks after the comms in your group then?
All of us.
So that would be the basically just the council guys talking, and everybody else is kind of like
we're trying to get to the point where everyone can talk, because I think the ideal situation is not one comms leader, because one person can't see everything, right? So I think just calling out essential like targets and what's happening, if everyone does that, people can, listen to it and figure out what they're going to do from that.
The more good information everyone has, the more cohesively we can fight.
Yep.
Something to add on the council. The council really doesn't play like a big role. It's more of a respect thing you have for people who have been there for a while, who do stuff. It's, if something really came down to a vote, then sure, but it's not really something that happens on a daily basis. These senior members, they're just in the background, doing their thing, being just normal members like everyone else.
Yeah. It's just when people come in and they're looking through the guild interviews, they want to know where they would stand when they come into a guild. You know what I mean? Like, do I have a vote, or am I just in there as a number? And that's good that's good information, because that's what people are looking for. They're looking to find a place or a home where their opinion matters. And the last 3 or 4 guilds that we interviewed say the same thing you guys do, that everybody's opinion is very valued. To help the guild grow.
We have members and we have recruits, and people who join the guild usually join as recruits, and they stay recruits for a while. But all the members are equal in that regard.
We don't have it's not like you spend X amount of hours in game with us and suddenly you're a member. It's more of well, have you been around long enough? Do we work well as a team? Because that's not something that you can just guarantee someone joins.
Yeah. Well, like Seven said earlier, you don't want to water it down. You kind of want to, and I think Nas said that too. You want to nurture them along and get them up to where they're working as a cohesive guild or group, and then when you bring new recruits in, then they can help the recruits train the way that they got trained as they came in from you guys, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the whole approach. I mean, that's kind of the whole approach to, we want recruits that are going to eventually become full 7 members, and basically, when you're a full 7 member, I mean, you're pretty much my equal.
You're in. There's not exactly a higher level you can get to.
Yeah.
So I do hold that to a very extremely high standard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only rank above 7 is being the owner of the VII Discord, such as me.
So they call you boss. Hey, boss. I get it. Okay, we did the mercs. Okay, so crafting, we want to kind of talk about. I'm gonna wait for the crafting. I'm gonna go back into the the planning of your tactics and that kind of thing for warring. I want to go back in here and get a little deeper into this because I want to know like who's doing the planning. Say all of a sudden, boom, somebody comes to you, we need help, and not everybody's online. Who would make the decision? Are we going to go and help this group right now, or would you be texting each other to sort it out, or could one of the council members at the top just say, "Okay, guys, suit up, we got to go"?
Depending on how many 7 members are on, they could probably just hold an internal vote. If that's something they want to do at the time, they can go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of actually a big part of the guild is just letting people do what they want, really. So, like Free Horses mentioned, like we just let him do whatever he wants, and and he's welcome to do that. So if people want to go and defend a siege, yeah, or do whatever they can, and it's vice versa too. Like if you really don't want to, we're not going to make you.
Yeah, I just like if 2 or 3 guys go, you're not worried about the repercussions down the line from other guilds.
For
if you
sure.
have an issue with a member, you can take it up with them. Otherwise, take it up with.
And I mean, even if it comes back to the whole guild in the end, which is something that has happened, we don't mind. It's more PvP for us. It's amazing.
We had a recruit come in who wanted to kill Kodo, and no one was going to tell the recruit, "No, stop killing Kodo." It's like, kill who you want, do your thing.
Good. Yeah. See that's a free guild. You know what I mean? That's a free guild right there. And
Kodo's the biggest guild in the server right now. So we were just like, I mean, if you're, I had Kuthara messaging one of our other cadre and was like, tell your member to stop, and we're like, no.
It's for a PvP. Like he'll get it. Like he's gonna understand that you're after the PvP too. I'm sure, so he won't like. I don't think Kodo's going to turn down the PvP. Let's be honest right now. What else do they have in the game?
I know he's obviously, Kuthara role plays, he's a king and stuff. And, it's always just funny that when we clash, these are, PvP groups and these role play groups and stuff. And we just try to give content to each other. Absolutely.
And you are too, because obviously half of those guys don't care. I've talked to many of them. They just want to bang too. Like if, probably half their guild just wants to go out and do what you guys are doing, you know what I mean? But they got a different kind of code they got to go by. But that's the way it is, right?
Mm-hmm. And I have much respect. I mean, I can definitely respect those who have a code or code of ethics. I mean, we kind of have the same thing here at Seven. Everything we do is to promote, positive PvP. If you're by yourself, you're probably not going to get ganked by a massive group of 7.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to go in 1v2 against bad odds.
Yeah.
We call it monkey shit.
I mean, that's just a bad decision. But
we try and
we
try and do things that are respectable and be respectable. We want to be respected, as a guild. We want to be known to be like fair and honorable.
You're gonna bring the fight. Yeah, you're not running around killing miners. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it has happened, but I mean, there's probably been a reason for that. To be fair, things don't just happen.
Exactly.
But definitely, we prefer to have odds against us so that the PvP is the victory is more sweet in the end.
Mm-hmm. So I want to poke away at this tactics again a little bit more. I want to know if would you guys get together with another guild, plan something like 2 weeks out and help them get to that goal? If they were going to pay you money, like say I know you don't like to run boulders, we won't even ask Free Horses, but if they said, you know what, if you help us, we're going to run boulders, you defend us as we go over and run them, because you got to run them to a bank in that area or something. Are you guys down for that?
If they approach us and they give good terms, then sure.
Yeah, I figured as much. Because it does happen, right? Like if you look at some of the older guilds that used to be the horse guild, like RPK was buddies with the Russian guild, and they used their mounted all the time for running stuff for them, all the time.
We have already been contacted by guilds to do stuff for them for payment.
Oh yeah, do you want to tell us who?
I don't think that's.
Hey, makes good content for you.
Sure. In that regard, contracts are always confidential.
Yeah.
Unless the parties agree to publicly state otherwise.
Yeah.
But in most cases, if you come to the table, it's going to be completely confidential. And
see, that's good.
That's one thing that we are. That's one thing we are keen on is keeping that really tight. So in that case, the cadre is definitely going to be involved in planning and figuring out who's going to fulfill the contract.
Yeah. Oh, I can respect that. That's what I mean. Like, if somebody comes in and tells me something, I don't tell anybody. I won't divulge any information from any other guild to another guild, even my own guild. Like, I won't give up the information. Okay, so we're going to start taking questions in about 5-10 minutes, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to let the seven here talk about the state of the game and what they think about it right now. So if we get, let's start with Oz this time. We'll go from the bottom up this time. So just give us a quick little brief what you think about the game, where it's kind of going for you, and that kind of thing. I guess. Go ahead, there, Oz.
The state of the game right now, I mean, it's there's people active. There's a lot more people than when I was playing MO1, so it's definitely a lot of content out there to go and actually do stuff. As of right now, in my opinion, there are a few things that need to be worked on, such as like the what is it, the criminal action thing, like that, like the reporting for the deaths, things like that. Like, people use that and it's a little bit abused, but it's just something that we're having to deal with right now. We'll get over it. But I mean, everybody so far is just kind of trying to get into the rhythm, I guess. Everyone's just trying to do what they do in Mortal. Everyone's trying to get familiar with everything, and I think as of now, I think most guilds are pretty much set with how they're going and what they want to do. So I just think we're pretty much almost ready for full release. Everyone's just kind of anxious to have that full release get out.
Okay, perfect. Free Horses, you're up, brother.
Well, originally, okay, so I got this game back, or the beta. I spent $150 back when they first released it, and all I could do was swig a sword at somebody else. So it's come a long way in like a year or so, and at first I was pretty skeptical because this is Star Vault, and Star Vault does Star Vault things. But I much rather have a game that works well and doesn't have cheaters than a game with a whole lot of content right now, because content will come in the future. So the game is barren but playable. So if they continue how they are, it's going to be a while, but at least it'll be not the buggy mess that the first one was.
Yeah, so true. Go ahead there, Seven.
All right, so for me, I think that the game is in a fine state. My playtime, I think, speaks for itself there. I log on every day and play a lot of hours, and I think it's really good. Like the sandbox game, you're supposed to make your own content. Sure, if you have some toys in the sandbox, it's better, right? But in the end, it's all for the players to make stuff happen. Shout out to Assassin from Rec and Hestier for Back to Bowl, for example. Great stuff there. And of course, it would be amazing if you had more points of interest in the game to just pull people out of towns, and you can get PvP by hunting PvEers or intercepting trades or whatever, trade runs. So that would be amazing. But yeah, I'm not really. I don't think you should rush persistent. I think that the game has to be fleshed out. I'm not really scared of a wipe. I don't take my items, my bank so dear. So yeah, just take your time, make the game solid before you go persistence and charge weekly monthly subscriptions. I think it's in a good place right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think it's fine. There's content. You have to create a lot of your own content, but it's working so far. Wolf, go ahead.
I didn't have a lot of faith in Star Vault coming into the combat alpha, but over the past few months, I've actually gained a lot of confidence, and I'm really excited. I have a couple nitpick things. I don't like exactly what they've done with weapons. They're all a bit heavier. So
Yeah.
the flanged mace and the star mace look just disgustingly huge, as does the Ryzar Warhammer, I think it is. Or no, not the Ryzar Warhammer. I'm thinking of something else. But I don't like the art style in that regard. But I hope that as they get closer to persistent, they'll balance out the weapons a little bit better and keep adding armors in. Because I think when we add armors in, when the full width of scales get added into the game, it'll be a lot more interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So go ahead there, quick. You can hit it up.
Well, for me, I think I have like 800 hours in the game so far, and I haven't done everything yet. So I still want to keep playing and trying new things and really finding where my niche is. I do think that the game moving a little slower right now is a benefit that sometimes is overlooked. Especially if you've come from MO1, you kind of want this process to go a little slower than faster.
Yeah, to make sure they hammer out all the problems, you mean?
Yes, most definitely. I mean, the instant gratification of going to see like a new dungeon for the first time, I would rather take, smooth, polished world that isn't crashing over that. We can wait on that.
Yeah.
That's something that we can wait on, and when we do get it, it's going to be amazing. But what's the point of having a nice, great dungeon if you're not going to be able to get to it?
Yeah,
true.
You're crashing out. You're dying to stupid stuff that you shouldn't be dying to. It's one of those things where, let's slow it down, guys. Let's not get too carried away. There's tons of stuff that you can do in the meantime. I mean, I haven't even hit the surface on getting, becoming the best PvP player I could be. So, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that I could do personally that's going to elevate my gameplay. So,
yeah.
It's just,
oh, sorry.
Sorry. It's just one of those things. It's all perspective. It's how you see the game and how you, see yourself in the game. And I think right now what we need to do is just kind of slow down and let these guys hammer all these bugs out, hammer everything out. Let's really get a well-polished game world.
Yeah. We have no rush because we don't even, they say persistence, but nobody really knows when it's coming anyways, right? So we got tons of time.
I said third quarter, but that probably means end of September. Or not end of September, end of October.
Yeah. I don't know. They can say whatever. Who knows? Nari, go ahead there.
All right. Yeah. I mean, just before I actually start, I mean, a perfect example of Quick's reasoning is actually this last patch. I mean, like, they added such good things like the anti-cheat, which is great. I mean, it's perfect. But the problem is they kind of rushed it out because now everyone's crashing. And, for example, Quick can't even get in the game. Like, it's difficult when you rush these things out and there's side effects like that. It kind of dulls what the game actually gives because people can't play. But in terms of my views, I think a lot of the vets here, I mean, they don't really have like a super big expectation in terms of like patches. Like in Mortal 1, we maybe got a patch every 3 months, if that. They don't really need to add tons of content. I think a huge mistake was making the map so large, honestly. Just because now they're going to have to fill it and it's going to feel empty. I mean, sure, if there's like 2,000 players, it makes sense. But right now, it just feels empty. Walking from like Fab to Cave Camp or to GK, there's nothing there. I mean, that's probably my biggest nitpick right now. And the fact that it just takes forever to get anywhere.
Yeah, were they not trying to say they were hoping to get 5,000 players? I thought that's what one of the goals was.
Yeah, I
Or the
mean,
goal. Yeah.
it makes sense, and like the issue is right now. I mean, the just traveling is
Yeah.
like I get home from work, I have about 3 hours. I don't really want to spend an hour walking to GK from FAD. That's probably my biggest nitpick of the entire game right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a whole issue with like they were talking about like fast travel. I mean, then people can transport mats. It's really difficult.
Yeah. Kind of like in UO where they pop open the blue gates and just zip through a rune book or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like who knows? Putson, brother. Manek will look after all the questions. We take them all at the end, brother. We're coming up though very quickly on that. I'm just gonna do a quick run through of what you guys.
Quick question.
Yes.
Is it possible to have our coat of arms on the screen and talk about that for a sec? Is that possible?
I don't have that set up to go, but we
All
can
right.
link it and put it in chat. If you want to link it in the Discord, I can throw it in the chat, and then people can actually see it. Unless Minik can do that right now for you.
Worked his ass off on that. It's
okay. I apologize. I apologize.
No, nothing to apologize over, but he's proud of it.
Yeah. Okay. Is it in screenshots? Where did we put it?
I sent it in DMs.
You sent it to Minik?
To both of you, yeah.
Okay, let me go back and look here. Sorry. There's Wolf. I'll add him.
It just tells the story of the guild, so anyone who's interested in having a quick, rundown, that also helps, I guess.
There it is. Okay, let me see if I can copy the link and put it in chat here so people can see it, and then we can just talk about it. I think that'll open it up for everybody. If you guys want to take a look at the code arms, we're going to talk about it briefly here. See if it's opening or not.
Wow. I was watching this be made.
Oh my god! Yeah,
it's kind of crazy that you made this from scratch. Just saying.
Jesus, dude. Okay, if people are in chat, you gotta open that up and have a look at it. I can't get it on my screen because my screen isn't set up for that right now. But yeah, go ahead and briefly talk about that for sure. That's amazing, guy. Holy jumping.
Right. So, I mean, I'm the artist, but the soul and the essence is from the guild itself. I don't know if Quick, you want to say something at the beginning before I go into the details?
So I'd seen most of like these guild interviews, right? And
yes,
I was kind of like, we don't really have anything that embodies Seven. Like we don't have like guild logos or anything cool like that. So I was like, I know Seven is like really good at making stuff, and I was like, hey man, like, you think you could like throw something together, something small? I said something small, okay. Just something real fast, that you could kind of like, look at, what we are as a group and kind of tell a story. And that's what he brought out. So
that is absolutely crazy looking, man. And you did all your work yourself. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, he did do it all on his own, dude. I was like, wow.
So we've got a few elements in here that I want to quickly just...
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got this four creatures, right? We've got the lion, the bear, and the horse, the snake, the rattlesnake, symbolizing symbolizing freedom, honor, family, and respect. The horse definitely shows, that we are able to do whatever we want. We roam. Everyone has their own thing. We want to be respectable, honorable. Don't mess with us. Don't step. Kind of a joke in there, but I mean, the snake does symbolize, you have to have respect for it. You don't want to get in its way. It's gonna bite you. And then we have, we are strong. We are like 8-7 years, maybe even more. I'm not quite sure on how long we've been playing together as a core group. So there's definitely substance. There's family. It's not like we are, picking the best. We're not picking the. We're not picky. We just take what we have because we're a family. And then we've got our 7 sins down in the middle. Kind of what everything's built on. Kind of little RP element, even though we don't really RP, we don't like RP, but I guess you gotta have something in there. We've got our creed, few versus many. Got our battle cry, push the mages, something you would hear in comms. And
Yeah.
definitely important is our main gear, the bone tissue helmet. We don't really, like I said, we don't care about assets, we don't care about goods, wealth. We just want to fight, want to kill a pig and get out there, mix things up.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, dude. Wow. We'll put that in the link too underneath the video, so
Sick.
people can pop that right up there and give you the shout out for it. Okay, I'll finish up here real quick, and then we'll get a couple questions. I think Pootson has one, or Putson. So VII Sins started playing. Basically, a lot of you guys joined back at the MO2 beta. Quick, it looks like you guys are kind of a cadre of players, and you make decisions as a council, but everybody's opinion is definitely valued. Nara, you look, sorry, Nairo. Is that how you say that? Naori, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Started back when you were doing you started actually when you could get crafting going. So you started doing that, and you like to, you kind of help out with new players, and you do some of the crafting weapons.
Yep.
Wolf, it looks like you're a foot fighter, and you started back in January. Free horses, you said that you started back a couple months ago, I guess, playing like full time ish, I guess. Oz, you did a bit of MO1. Didn't play too much, but now you're pretty hardcore into this game. It looks like you're gonna be sticking around for it.
Yeah.
Seven never played MO1, but you have, I think we wrote down, was 1,000 hours. If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Since the stress
so
test.
yeah, since the stress test, yeah. So we talked about the roams. You guys kind of set the roams up, like players online themselves will set it up. Council members don't actually set them up. Whoever's online will just take, kind of the lead and set them up. You kind of like to poke Kodo for your fights, and you do have team fights set up on Sundays ish. You're more of a PvP guild than, I'm gonna build a house type guild. Location right now, you guys are sort of in Fab. You do goes to other towns. You hung out in Bodki and MO1 quite a bit. GK, you do roams up there as well and stay there for the fights. Housing, you wanted to make a village called the Seven. No, you're gonna stay away from alliances. You're not going to be doing sieges as of like planned sieges at that point, but you will help do defensive merc contracts for guilds. Recruiting, you're looking for mages. It looks like Quick said, if you're a mage out there, guys, start talking to these the Seven. They're looking for a bit more mages, and if you're an archer, at least have a sword on you. And for the recruiting part, basically what will get you kicked out of the guild fast is the toxic, and if you can't be cohesive in the teamwork that they're requiring to like put the guild ahead of yourself, that'll get you kicked out. For the comms, we touched on the comms a little bit in the fighting. They do have an open comm. Basically, they don't have a leader. What they're looking for is good information passed to the group, so they can better plan what's going on in the fights. Because, like they said, not everybody can see the whole fight, right? Tactics. Then that was part of the planning of the tactics and all that kind of thing. Now for the status of the game, where were we here? Where Free Horse says good with the anti-cheat thing in it. Did cause some problems with crashing for a lot of people, but the game is in a playable state for him. Oz, I didn't really have too much wrote down for you. I apologize.
All right.
It looks like you were just you're happy with the status of the game right now and it's playable content, basically. Sure. Seven has 1,000 hours. He's fine with the state of the game so far, and it's playable for him. Wolf was he wanted to really for them to get a little more in depth with the weapons art and the armor art, and get the weapons more balanced for everybody to use. Quick 800 hours in it. He's interested in the dungeons, getting a little more PvE in the dungeons, and he wants them to take the Star Vault to take their time to launch the game. so they don't rush it out. Now, Rory said the same thing. Don't rush the patches, and it kind of feels like the map is empty right now of content. Manik's gonna read off a couple questions for you guys now.
Yeah.
So, are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
All right, Manik, you can go ahead and read the questions.
We don't have that much questions, but there is actually two that are not, like
Go
Putin
ahead.
asked to, like, it's not really a question, but he asked if, like, Quick can explain his pigeon lore. Not sure what that is, but
Yeah. Go ahead, quick.
My pigeon lore. Okay. So the gentleman or the comedian that plays Pigeon in Mike Tyson Mysteries is Norm Macdonald, and
Oh God.
Norm Macdonald is a hilarious comedian, and I really like his comedy. It's like real, just dry and like sarcastic, and I don't know. It almost seems like he kind of goes away from like social norms in his comedy. So it's just really funny, and I really like him as a comedian. So, and he played this little pigeon very, very funny, and
Okay.
I really feel like
okay.
like he's my little, like, that's me, you know, like that's just my little persona right there, little sarcastic pigeon.
Okay.
I got it.
Funny little story, but okay. There is one more question from the Legion Jab. He's asking what's your guild policy or stance in politics of MO2.
Was it directed? Oh, at 7. So the guild itself was directed.
Yeah.
To. So if somebody else wants to take that, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can say a little bit about it. I mean, I don't want to say we don't have politics, because everyone has politics, right?
Everybody has it.
Everyone has reserves. Everyone just, like, people like certain people. You know, we're gonna play with certain people. I mean, a good example of that is Rec. I mean, a lot of us used to be in the guild Rec in MO1, so of course we're gonna have a preference towards them. It's really hard to say. I mean, we are trying to be a neutral PvP guild, but if you're gonna do like us wrong, I mean, we're definitely not gonna respect you. Like, it's difficult. It's a difficult question. Anyone else want to say anything?
I could kind of go off some things there.
Yeah.
So I've talked to multiple guild diplomats, if you will.
Yeah.
And each time I've presented their offer to the cadre, it's been denied. So it kind of goes into where defensive packs, and it's not on our radar right now. Obviously, TC is not in the game currently.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's always subject to change. But as a group right now, we don't have, non-aggression packs or defensive packs or anything that would hinder content coming our way.
Yeah.
Why would this is not Cop Zergs, it's awful for the game. Like, why would you want to just have the entire server group up to fight on the other half of the server? It's awful. So alliances, meh, rather not.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I get it. Like, it, obviously, down the line, it's all going to change, right? People are going to get mad at each other and break off from alliances. It'll all happen, right? Once the server wars fire up, you guys know if you played MO1, what'll happen. It all ends up being the same sooner or later.
Yep.
Okay, so I just wanted to thank you guys for coming out and doing the interview. I know it's hard to get everybody motivated when there's not a lot of content, but I really, really appreciate you guys coming on here and talking about your guild. Like, we did have people asking about you guys to come on, so that's what pointed us in the direction of you guys as well. So I really appreciate everything.
Oh, thank you for organizing
Thank you.
this and
Yeah.
hosting. Yeah.
I think I already told Bratwire this. I was like, I'm a big fan of Mortal Online 2 just in general. So I like seeing like guilds and stuff. So I do like watching his
I
interviews
like seeing
and stuff.
YouTube videos with the words Mortal Online 2 in them. It just makes me feel good. It's like, oh, that's my game that no one knew about for 5
Ew.
years.
I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate everybody coming on. If does anybody have anything else they want to say before we shut the record off here?
If you're a mage, hit me up.
If you're an archer, carry a sword.
Yeah. Also, guys, if you're interested in the guild, come into the Twitch channel under Bratwire and grab the Discord, and they will be in our Discord. That's why we set up this channel and everything for other guilds to be in here. Like every guild we interview has a channel in our Discord, so you can hit them up that way as well. All right. Okay. I want to thank chat again for being here. They're, I know we don't have much content, boys. We're just gonna keep plugging away at it. Doesn't matter. Just keep your chin up. The stuff will come. It's inevitable. It's just a time-in thing. And I appreciate you guys coming out here and, hanging out with us in the morning. I know it's early for a lot of people, but I really appreciate it.
I mean, before you end it, Footson did have a question here. The most handsome player is probably Wolf. I mean, it's true, right, Wolf?
Debatable.
Yeah.
Send it over. We'll link his picture in the bottom of the YouTube picture video for you.
Wolf is pretty handsome.
Oh God! See, I have a face for radio, so that's what my mom told me anyway. All right, we're gonna shut her down, boys. That was a long interview. I really appreciate it. It went so good, and there was so much information there. It was super. Again, chat, thank you very much, and I will talk to everybody later. Peace.